Lebih 20 tahun kerja sebagai kontraktor. Kerja kontraktor. Enggak. Gaji met. Anak rumah pajai. Ngau serak ini ya den.
Que nuestros antepasados también estuvieron acá y que fue un lugar muy sagrado para ellos, fue un cementerio, y ocupar esta tierra es como darle esa paz que por generación nunca se le ha dado.
The reason that I decided to apply for this project because the concept is Mekong 2030, which is something that's happening in the future. So that's interesting for me, how Laos in the next 10 years going to look like, how people going to look like, and the environmental issues that we talk about will be like. So that's challenging for me.
I don't believe any of this devil crap or this religious hocus pocus that's going on.
It may not be what you think.
You came to the Philippines to investigate a human trafficking report. Children are missing, body parts were found.
Maraming na rin ako naririnig. People come, but they don't leave. They became like a cult.
We're investigating alleged human trafficking cases.
You're here to stop the devil. There are many of them all over the world who believe in the devil's power.
So, Johan, right? And you can call me Joe.
Why are you applying for this job?
My wife and I, Khadija, she just got pregnant.
So what's no filter photography?
Oh, it was a photography business I started up a while back.
So why are you here?
It didn't work out.
Ao nei to mo we koe longa tau tupe. Si pore aga ke whakaonga. Whano si liu mai. Whano si liu mai.
Moses said, when I go to school, I won't have any friends.
You know what? Moses is a bloody kakamora.
No, but what I will do is teach you how to use your own beautiful voice.
Vi, you could do amazing things for your people, but you need to cut out all these distractions.
I know what I'm capable of, but you just won't listen to me.
So this is what she learned at that Flats University. How to cause trouble. You have these thoughts.
These thoughts, they're my own, Elvis. My family, my village has sacrificed so much for me to be here, and I'm not going to waste it. I'll not allow you to take any more from us! I'm tired of molding myself to become who you want me to be. My name is Vaisea. Vaisea lona lote pulusi.
Jim? Is everything all right?
Why?
It's just that the last 2 months' bills haven't been paid.
I lost my job
When?
3 months ago now.
Jim, they will take your home if you don't pay.
Is everything else all right? What did you do?
Why do you ask?
You seem different.
Different?
Drained. Down.
Is there something you're not telling me?
If there's anything at all, you should speak to someone. It'll help. We're not meant to walk this path alone.
Everything's fine.
To today's webinar, putting small voices on big screen. Thanks everyone for making the time this Saturday afternoon to be with us for this webinar. I'm Anna Ha from the Freedom Film Network and will be the moderator for this webinar. The Freedom Film Network is a non-profit organization that believes that films have the power to open minds and move hearts, and we want to harness this power of film to create positive change in society. Yeah, just checking if my voice is still is online. Okay, in short, we support filmmaking for social impact, or what we call social filmmaking. So we organize capacity building activities, give production support and mentoring to activists, and also organize the Freedom Film Fest, an annual international human rights film festival based in Petaling Jaya. We've been doing this since the festival has been around since 2003, and it travels to no less than 7 states in the country and also to Singapore. As part of the festival, we give out a small film grant to Malaysians who want to make a documentary that carries a human rights theme, films that give an alternative point of view, and film that carries the voice of local communities who have less access to the media. These films are then premiered at the Freedom Film Fest and used by advocates and the local community to create awareness and bring about the change that they want. So as part of our collaboration with KKIF, we are happy to be featuring 3 films produced through our film grant program over different years. You can watch them online. You can still watch them online on the KKIFF CINEBALU online festival platform if you haven't seen it yet. They are Pengidup Aku, My Life, In the Dark, and Aku MAU SKOLA, or I Want to Go to School. And if you haven't seen the whole film yet, you can watch the trailers now, which will come on your screen.
Lebih 20 tahun kerja sebagai kontraktor. Kerja kontraktor. Enggak. Gaji met. Anak rumah pajai. Ngau serak ini ya dan.
Okay, is there another trailer coming on? We saw Pengidup Aku trailer. What about In the Dark and Aku MAU SKOLA? Is that coming on? Okay, I think I will just go on. So that was one of the films that we are featuring. It's called Pengidup Aku, My Life, and it is by Albert Bansa. Okay, and we have another 2 actually. One is called In the Dark, and it is by Lawatan, and the last one is Aku MAU SKOLA, I Want to Go to School by Putri Purnama Sugua. Okay, thank you KKIF for featuring our films and for the collaboration. Actually, one similarity between all our 3 films is that they feature stories and give us a glimpse of the lives of a marginalized group who seldom have the opportunity to tell their own stories. So today, we will talk to these 3 filmmakers about why they chose to feature these communities as subjects of their films to be put on big screen and shown to a larger audience. And also a bit about their experience of making a film about the community that is marginalized and underrepresented in society. We hope that through this discussion, we can give you an idea of why social films are important and have a crucial role in the society, and also what it entails to produce them. So I'll start by introducing the first one, whose trailer that you saw, which is Albert Bansa. Hi, Albert.
Hello, hello. Yep. Hello,
Hey.
everyone.
Yeah, hi. Albert Bansa is an indigenous Iban from Dalat, Sarawak. He has been involved in indigenous rights movement and previously worked in indigenous people's organization. From there, his interest in photography and in videography started to grow. And in 2019, he applied and received the grant from Freedom Film Fest. And so this is his first documentary about his own community in Dalat Muka. Yeah. Very happy to have you with us, Albert, and very glad that you made the film.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. And the next person I want to introduce maybe is Lau Watan. Okay, Lau Watan is the co-director of the film In the Dark. Okay, he will tell you what it is about later, but basically it's about a really intimate glimpse of the lives of a few blind or disabled, sight-disabled persons who are very interesting actually. And Watan is actually an anthropology graduate, but is now working as a videographer and a video editor. He says he's not good at socializing. I mean, yeah, but he cracks funny jokes. But yeah, right, Watan? Yeah, okay. Yeah, but he really has a keen interest to know more about the society. And he found that documenting is a way to bridge both, to get to know more about society at the same time, give him and get closer to the people. Yeah, so thanks again, Watan, for coming on and sharing your film.
Thank you, Anna.
Mm-hmm. And the third is Putri Purnama Sugua. Hello.
Hi.
You're the only one with the word passionate in front of filmmaker.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, Putri is actually a filmmaker from Sabah. She is a graduate of the Faculty of Film, Theatre and Animation in UiTM. She has her own production company called Dream to Fly. And this short documentary which she did for us, which is featured at KKIFF this year, Aku MAU SKOLA, was also a film grant recipient of the Freedom Film Fest. This film has been screened internationally and regionally as well as locally. It's gone to festivals in Seattle in the US, London in the UK, Guangzhou, China, and recently it won Silver Award at the Roshet International Film Festival, Iran. Well done, Putri. Yeah, and she's just not only make documentaries, she also makes short films. Okay. What's that noise? Yeah. Anyway, her short film. She also makes short films, and her films Dream to Fly, Rumah Hendak Bertanah, and Di Sini Aku have already received many awards. So looking forward to hearing your sharing, Putri.
All right, thank you. I think I have a problem with my camera. I'll try to setting up again.
Okay, but just be online, yeah, so we can hear you at least. Yeah. And people who are listening in today, you can always ask these filmmakers some questions about their films and their experience. You just need to type it in the comment section on Facebook, on YouTube. I think English or BM is okay. And we'll try and get the filmmakers to answer them a bit later on. Okay? So I think I'll just go straight into the talking to the filmmakers already. So I think the first part, to all three filmmakers, can maybe I start off with Albert lah. Albert, can you please tell us a bit about your film, because we only saw a bit of the trailer. Tell us a bit about your film, and why is it important for you that the story of this community is put on screen?
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Anna. Yeah. So Pengidup Aku is a documentary about my own community, which is in Talat Muka. So it's a story about how like people in rural area, they move out and not move out lah. They work in town because in rural area you don't have like jobs opportunity, and they try to seek a better life lah for them. But in the meantime, they cannot afford to live in town, so most of them they left behind their parents, their kids, just to just to survive lah. And all this is because Sarawak, mostly the rural area, still we have infrastructure, and so most of the kids are growing up without their parents, and then they also end up working in town, having the same low pay job as their parents, and it's kind of a circle lah, really. And this film is personal film, I guess, because it shows because I come from the same longhouse, I experienced the same thing. My father is a construction worker, similar to the character in the film, and I grew up mostly in Kongsi, and I guess that's what motivated me to show, because I never see a story like this lah, especially about indigenous people in Sarawak. And I think if you talk about indigenous people always think about this beautiful costume, music, traditional dance, but not really what's behind it. So I guess that's it for me.
And so why is it important that this kind of stories, not just the beautiful costume and the culture stories, is put on screen also,
I guess the film actually, because it features a real story from real people with real issues. So I hope that through this film, people are more aware of the issues lah, and also to bring out, because I don't think anybody else will do this kind of story if not myself. And and it's important to my main character Tony, he always complain oh gaji tak cukup, but nobody really do act on it lah. And with this film I hope that bring, even though it doesn't really change anything, but at least you do something about it lah.
So that means you're saying that actually the perspective of the people and yourself and the stories you want to tell is maybe sometimes very different from what is shown on TV. And so now this is kind of the opportunity to really give the insider point of view lah, and their issues and what they really want to tell people, correct?
Yep.
Right. Thank you. And I really think your film did that. You managed to achieve that. So okay, that's quite interesting that it was your first film and you chose to do this, so I guess you must really see a need for something like this. So we'll talk about the reactions to your film later on. So maybe we go on to the next film. The next film is maybe we look at let's see, okay, we go to Aku MAU SKOLA first. I think the trailer of Aku MAU SKOLA is ready. So let's just have a look at it first before we speak to Putri about her film.
Kalau aku ada dokumen, aku mau jadi cikgu.
Anulah kami sanggup kami bayar, yang penting anak kami pandai membaca, pandai menulis.
Saya pasal tolong emakku cari duit kasih buat dia. Yang apa suka mamaku belikan dia.
Pendidikan nih adalah penting untuk anak-anak. Tidak kiralah dia warga kah ataupun dia tidak.
Okay, cool. So that was the trailer. Putri, maybe you can share a bit about the film and why is it important for you that the story of this community is put on screen?
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Putri. Sorry for the technical error just now. So, Aku Mau Skola is a story that actually I really developed like a year before I got the grant of Freedom FilmNet. So it started when it's from the NGO that I know in Sandakan. So a lot of people talk about there's a lot of kids working at the dumpster, one of the biggest dumpster in Sandakan. So like I was so curious, and plus it's very near to my area. And then one day I decided to go there, and I went there and then I saw myself, and then I really think that it is something that people out there need to know about. So I applied for the Freedom Film Fest grant, and I got the grant, and then like I continue making a documentary on the subject matter. At first I haven't met Ariel, my character, and also the other kids. But after I go through that area, and then I found there's a school there, and then I found some of the kids that went to that school is actually working in the dumpster in order to get money to pay for their daily school fee. So from that I become more confident that this is a story that must be told. Like, and I always say this. Whenever people ask me like why I choose to make this story, but my answer is always like it's not like I'm the one who choose to make this story. I think that this story come to me, and then like they want me to help them to deliver it to the people outside of their world, because all these kids are stuck in that area. They cannot go out, so like nobody can voice out about them. So I think as a filmmaker, it's my responsibility to help them to deliver the real life issue happening around them to the world.
Cool. Thanks. And now maybe we just go on to Watan. Watan, maybe we watch the trailer of In the Dark first.
Okay.
2014年3月的手术过后，我就开始写字都看不到了咯。我是有想过要去找回我的专科医生，他是跟我讲医不到了，你的眼睛是真的是医不到，不是不要帮你，他讲。
父亲都是这样讲，哎呀，你这样辛苦又看不到，不用做工啊，只是吃2碗饭。所以我母亲就跟我讲，2碗饭现在我们2个老的还可以看到你吃那2碗饭，等我们那2个老的不在，谁看你吃这2碗饭呢？最怕你饭都没有得吃，又没有朋友，你一定要去参人，你要接触，一定要有朋友，最好是有事业。
我星期1是学口琴哦，星期2学唱歌咯，星期4呢是学跳舞咯，星期6才学钢琴，晚上去练习唱歌咯。
后面移过一点 GBE。
他去世的时候，我是伤心啊，现在是痛心啊。我觉得我看不到，我很没有用，我母亲没有在了，没有人可以帮到我，我觉得很辛苦。没有了我母亲啊，我觉得做人也是没有什么意义啊。是说我现在是这样子活下去罢了咯，假如万一是有什么病就算了。
收嘢啦，媽，收啦。我遲早都係愛收噶啦，我遲早都。
Cool. Okay, maybe Watan, can you just tell us a bit about In the Dark?
Okay. Actually, what Putri talking about is similar with me. Honestly, I think it's the topic chose me rather than I chose the topic. Why I say that maybe you need to start from the beginning of the documentary. It is from a project called Living with the Other. And this project was running by a library called Rumah Atap Library. It's some like a cultural mapping project, and we collect some story from different group of people that living together in KL with us and publish again. So the blind people in the brickfield is one of the group of the others. And in this project, the co-director of my documentary, Cici, is in the same group with me, and we are going to collect the story of the blind people in Brickfield. And actually, Cici had been to the Blind Society and Berjaya Massage Center before, so he also wrote some article about them. So at this basis, I can easily meet those blind masseurs in Brickfield, like Ken and Penny. And I also choose them as the character in my documentary when I get the grant from Freedom Fest. Okay, this is how the topic chose me, and for me the story is important, and I think it's special is because through my time spent at Brickfield, I become friends with them, with those blind people from the community, and I witnessed firsthand how they live their daily life, and at the same time as well as how they are excluded from our daily life. When I started researching on the past reports or journalistic writing or documentary that were done on the blind, I found that most of the narrative is always either really sad or really inspiring, and the audience usually will just feel sympathy after watching. So I found it's not enough because I have seen how complex and how richness of their life, and also the social challenge which excluded them from participating in the public space and workspace. So I think this is the most important message that I wish to deliver to my audience.
Yeah, thank you, Watan. Yeah, so I think the thing about, I think the similarity with three of y'all is not just that you just choose a topic, right? It's basically you experience something that touched you, right? And maybe something that you don't always see on a big screen, which is maybe a little bit not so rich or not so complex, and hence you decided to make this kind of film lah, correct?
Yes.
Correct. And so but this are you also saying, Watan, that the stories on how is your story like different? You said it's more complex, right? How is your story kind of like adding to the more maybe simplistic narrative of this particular community, which is the blind community?
How's the difference?
How is this story about the blind? Because many stories have been done about the blind, right?
Yeah.
So what were you trying to offer extra, you think?
I have been read some reports or article that talking about the Brickfield communities, and it's really helpful for me to get to know about the history of the blind community. But aside of how and when the community was built or created, or what happened in the community, I would like to ask more about why in my documentary. Like, why Brickfield be known as the blind community but not that blind friendly enough? Or why the sighted people know there are a lot of blind people living and staying here, but they still keep occupying the guiding right? Yeah, when I do the research, there's a final documentary film called Blind Choice. It's really inspiring me. The film had interviewed some blind masseurs from different massage centers, and the director trying to bring out is what the most masseurs not willing to be a masseuse. Actually, they have ability to do other job, but they are excluded from the other workspace. So it's similar with what my documentary want to bring out. So aside of the working life, I also put some scenes of leisure activities like Penny go to kayaking or dancing or learning piano to show that if you put more empathy, they can do the same thing or even more and enjoy the same activity or public space with us. I think I also focus on the different character life story because I found that there will be 100 of reason for 100 of blind people to come and stay or work in Redfield. So this small voice really worth to be recorded.
I see. Yep. Yeah. The story is very interesting, and it's the little things that they do in their daily life that really give you an insight, intimate insight into their lives. You know. Yeah, which I really appreciate. Yeah. I mean, what about Putri? I mean, what do you feel? How is your story different from, say, other stories done about stateless? You know.
Rather than seeing the difference between the other films, like I don't really get bothered like about okay, I want my film to be different from others, but when I make the film, I just like want to try fit in as much story as I can, because like when I went there, there's like you already have target on what kind of story that you want to cover, and you already plan for which subject matter that you want to follow, but like being in that place is like there's so many directions that I even when I will start doing the editing, I was stuck. I think the editing process for this work, it's the hardest I ever experienced, because of there's so many direction that I want to go, and there's so many story that I want to cover, and like I was stuck to tell the story that not only can move people, but not only let people to empathize the character, but I want them to really put themselves like in that moment. Like I want them to be like, I want them to like can feel the character, and then like can feel the journey of the character, can feel the struggles, and at the same time like I want people to participate in helping them, you know, in the future or whatsoever, or like as possible, like I want people to like get involved, or also like get themselves educated about this issue of statelessness, because like they've been living there like for ages, and then like there's so many generations, and things are keep repeating the same and the same. So like I just hope that throughout this film we can stand together and like slowly take slower actions, like to help them, and the directions of this film is like um because I follow like few subject matter, and then towards the end I decided to just show these two, like, and one of it is Ariel. And I mean, the process of making this film is really not easy, even in the beginning until the end, and even until now when I want to talk about Aku Mau Sekolah, it's like, after what happened to the boy, the main character, because he just passed away last month. And as a filmmaker and director, like of the film, like at one point I it's really hard for me to talk about it, you know, like to continue, because some people even like tell me, maybe you can start like, you know, continue the documentary Aku Mau Sekolah and filming about the boy who just passed away. And I feel like, why, like you want me to go through that process, like even to accept that this boy already passed away is really hard, and then the memory of me shooting with him is already something that's not easy. And then like I know it's very important story for you to tell about the struggle and the healthcare, but but it's not easy, you know. It's being a filmmaking documentary is not easy, especially if you want to craft the whole narrative, because you don't want people to mistake about them. You don't want people to, like, you know, have a different thought about them, and you need to be clear in what you want to tell. So it's really not easy also, like when I want to put a direction on this film and try to deliver something strong throughout the narrative.
Thank you, Putri. Yeah, I think what I'm seeing here is that the three films are actually very, very personal. Yeah, it comes like it touches you, and it keeps engaging with you all the time, your characters and everything. And it's something that comes from inside lah, you know, and you constantly engage with it. Whether it's your character and the story and what to put in it, and that's what I think is also very interesting about social filmmaking, in the sense that we discover something, and then we try and engage, try and listen, put it in the film, and have to decide then in the last part what goes in, what goes out, you know. And after that, the process continues, in the sense that after we show the film, we still need to have relationship with the person, you know, the subjects of the film. We also feel maybe a little bit like, okay, what's the impact of the film to them, etc. Yeah, I mean, do you all agree with me? I mean, do you all see this filmmaking process of making a social film, documentary film, something that is kind of personal? Albert, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, for my film, because I've been living with, I'm from the same long house with the main character, and then my father working in the same place as him. So yeah, the relationship, I guess, like it was built like since, I don't know, since I'm a child. And yeah, and like after I make the film and showing it to them, and Tony, the main character, he say really liked the film, and I think he was proud also, because he involved in the film, being the main character, and people in the Dala town now like kind of know him. Oh, this is the guy that in that film. Yeah, and social film, like, because as you producing, as you like shooting the film, and even after that, it's a process that you doing it together with your subject, like your character and the community. That's the most
So
important.
maybe just to take off from there, it's like maybe what happened after the film was made? What was the reaction of the community when they first saw the film? What's the reaction of Tony when he first saw the film? And how has it, like, in a way, changed their lives, or how they see themselves?
I guess now, after Tony watching the film, he realized that, oh, he smoked quite a lot. And the first time I showed it to the community, and people were laughing, even though it's if I show it in other places like in KL or PJ or whatever, like, people say, oh, this is very sad, or how can they live like this? But for Tony and the gang, it's something that they are proud of. And after the film, during Gawai Festival, we released the film online in Facebook, and and the comment section were flooded by like other people in Sarawak from other kampong, other area that facing similar issues lah. They say, oh, my village also the same. We don't have electricity, no roads. Or some people saying, oh, now I'm working in Johor. Like, facing similar situation as Tony's. So when this situation changes, and some people like say they really miss their kampong lah, but you cannot go back lah, because there's nothing for you there, I guess.
Okay. And Putri, I mean, I think just for maybe those who not I mean, is what happened was that Ariel, the main character of the film, the little boy, one of the main characters apart from the teacher, he just passed away from TB. Yeah. And so it is also, I think, something that is quite serious, because I think he didn't have access to go to find what you call it, medical help, right? Medical help. And so, Putri, maybe you can share a bit about that, if you don't mind, or I hope it's not too difficult.
Yeah, I got a news from the brother because the brother contacted me that saying that Ariel was sick and he was in hospital because that time I was shooting in Kemaman, and then like after a few hours in the, I think around 2 or something, I got a news that he said that Ariel already passed away, and I thought like I was so surprised at that time because I was just finished shooting, and then I contacted the mother, and then the mother told me that he been sick actually for months. Like it's been like 5 to 6 months. He been coughing, blood coughing, and they thought it's just still a normal sick because they don't really know that Ariel have a TB. So they tried to do the traditional medical way first because they don't want to go to hospital. Actually, even Ariel, the main character, himself insists to go to the hospital because he don't want to bring problem to the mother, and also like because that they don't have anything to prove that they are citizenship, plus they don't really have money because like if you don't have any document, or if you are not Malaysians, you have to pay like a very huge amount for your medical fee. So that's why he insists to go, and then only towards the end when things become really bad, then he decide to go to the hospital, but it's the doctor said it's too late, and he barely hanging there, and then just a few hours like he passed away. And yeah, in that moment I really don't know what to do, like especially like I'm not there, and then I just try to help as much as I can, like by asking from some of my friends in Sandakan to arrange the funerals, and then like I get some donation from my friends and send money to the parents for the funerals and for anything that they need to use for their life.
Mm.
And yeah, that's what happened.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
don't know how to continue the stories, like I don't even know how to react on this, like because like it is so sudden, and then the moment like I just know that my character passed away, like because it's still new, like it's still vivid for me, like the moment that we were sharing throughout the documentary process, like almost 2 weeks, like we are spending time, like I'm following him, and then like I know how cheerful he is, like and then that one words that keep playing in my mind is when he said that he want to help his mother, and even towards the end of his life, like he keeps saying to the mother that he says sorry that he couldn't do anything, and it's really break my heart because this young boy, until towards the end of his life, he still think about others rather than himself, like then I feel like we lost one soul that very pure, that you don't know what this soul can do to the world, like he might can change the community, the people around him, if we give him opportunity, not only
Yeah.
for education but just to live as a normal person, like then it's
Yeah.
really it's really not easy, like to
Mm.
for me as someone who also very close to the subject matter, and then
Yeah.
it's a very new experience to me also.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the people that we engaged with, the subjects, whether it's Tony, Penny, Ken, or Ariel, I guess as a filmmaker, you need to have a really close relationship with them, and it continues on even after making the film. Yeah. And also the thing that I feel is that their life goes on. We have just put it on film, right? But there are problems, there are issues. They live the life every day, you know. And that's why I think sometimes there's sometimes that filmmakers maybe also how can we kind of how do we deal with an issue that is so real that maybe can have an impact on them anytime, you know. So for example, like with the Ariel issue, I mean, when we talk about, oh, you know, a story of a child who stateless kids who need to study and study very hard, but actually the danger for them is so real of not having money, of not having identity card, that it is actually life. It could be endangering his own life. Yeah, yeah, in the sense that their situation is really, really serious. Yeah, to the point that like sometimes when we show a film and we just don't realize that actually the seriousness of the issue continues even after the film is done, and their reality don't change. In the sense, then maybe how do you see your film trying to make a serious impact into their reality actually? You know, did your film, you think, try to really make an impact to change their reality? How do you see your film playing that role in their issue? Say for example, maybe I go to Watan lah, maybe talking about brickfields, right?
Oh.
So how do you think that film impacted their lives in the end, or life or generally of the blind in brickfields?
I think the most directly impact for the community maybe is some audience watching my film and go to the massage center and get a massage there and say, hey, I saw you in the film. Yes.
That's good, right? Increase their income.
Yeah.
And support lah. You also kind of support them, right?
Support. But I think what the struggle that meet is still go on, because I don't think I have enough big power to change their life. But maybe can just keep the relationship as a friend, and yes, as a friend, and continue to involve with them.
Okay. Can you tell me, like, where have the film been screened, or what has some of the impact that the audiences have felt after watching your film?
I think the Freedom Film Fest really bring me to go many places for the screening and sharing. And also, we are invited to some college or the community to do some sharing. Some audience cry after watching, and I found some audience write some article about their reflection. And one of the sharing that I think is worth to be mentioned is screening on the version of audio description. This sharing, we also invite an OKU activist called Rosli Ibrahim, who was involved in OKU Bangkit, to share the importance of the community for the OKU. And while I saw my friend was screening and he listening intently and smile in the funny part, and I feel really touching for this, because we can share the same emotion and feeling together with them.
So that's the interesting thing, that actually for viewers of KKIFF, there's actually an audio description version of the film of In the Dark. And this was part of the effort that Watan and CC, the other co-director, did, which was they made an audio description version so that the blind could also experience the film, or kind of watch the film together. So if you have friends who are interested, who are blind, who might want to watch the film, you can still log on or register at CINEBALU KKFF to watch the film. So so the thanks Watan for doing that. But so what about like how important do you think it is for the community to watch the film that you made? Or then there's then also of course the other audience, which is the audience who don't know about them. How would you see that the two different type of communities?
Actually, we didn't screen in the blind community. Yes. Because we haven't made the Malay version of the audio description.
I see.
We planned to make a Malay version because the Bahasa Malay is more friendly for them.
I see. Okay. But Penny and Ken, have they seen the film?
Yeah, that's in
what
the
do they
film.
think?
There have many comments. Yeah.
Okay.
But they really appreciate what I do because even it's a very normal story for them, but they feel it is good to let the sighted people know what they meet in their daily life.
It kind of also empowers them and kind of show that their story and their life and what they face is also important, right? It kind of validates their experiences as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about any of the other two filmmakers? Do you want to add to what Watan has said in your experience? Okay, so like, is it maybe it's like, did you all show this film back to the community? And is it important that we show this film back to the community, you think?
It is very important, like especially sharing the film to the community so they can like know and see themselves like that people are listening to their story. When Ariel's story pass away, it get viral, and a lot of people in Sabahan especially they were so surprised, and then then everyone start reaching to the film, and the mother also know about it, and then I think it's one of the present. The mom said that it's one of the best present in her life because Ariel is always alive in that film, and a lot of people, especially not only in Malaysia but around the world, can always listen to Ariel's story, and then like it's not big, but he actually make a change to that community. He helped make a change to the community, and that's what I'm very grateful of making on this documentary. Like even though it's not easy, but I was so grateful that like the soul that young pure that young boy with a pure soul who are very innocent, who just want to have a normal life, who just want to get educations. It's always there. It's always in that film, and it can reach anyone in the world. So I'm happy. I'm very happy about that, and I just hope like more filmmaker out there will get the opportunity to tell more story, especially voicing out about the people who don't have opportunity to tell their own story. Maybe we can become the middle person who help them to reach the outside world. So like like I think I am very grateful to Freedom Film Fest, especially because like uh if I were to tell this story without that platform, I don't think so I can reach that big audience, and I don't think so like more people especially in Malaysia can know about the film. And I'm very grateful about it because like using Freedom Film Fest platform, like more people not only in Malaysia, also in Southeast Asia. It's been screened in Singapore, in all Southeast Asia country under the sea shots, and also it was screened in Europe. It was screened in Iran, and it was screened in China. So like so many people like know about the story now, and then a lot of people like reaching me through Messenger and then telling me how can I help the kids and what can we do. And it's a small gesture that really make me feel grateful of making this film, because I know people started to come together, and then they want to stand with us and try to find a way to help this community, to help these people. And it's not gonna be an easy step, but at least we taking our first step to that, to hopefully one day these people can get that opportunity, a better opportunity for their life.
Thank you. Actually, that's the thing. You see, when Freedom Film Fest started, it was because also there was lack of a platform for this kind of stories to get out to the public, you know, and that's why Freedom Film Fest started. But the thing is, why? I mean, don't you think that in your experience that there is an audience for this kind of films, and can these kind of films, shouldn't they be on our TV rather than just on festivals? And what's your opinion on this? Maybe we start with Putri, then we go to the others.
Yeah, that's why sadly that our mainstream thing, this kind of story, it's not what people interest to watch. But I don't think so, because like by far, like most of my stateless
Yeah.
film, there's a lot of like audience out there that really care about this, but it's just like they didn't give a chance or platform, a good platform to watch this film. Even some of them asked where can we watch, but it's actually, it was just there, it was online. But why this kind of story cannot go into a TV or something like that? This is also something that I also question all that, you know, big broadcaster like TV, all that TV channels, like why they don't want to tell this kind of story. So like for me as a filmmaker that also do a commercial, I take it my initiative myself. Even like I remember 2017, one of the Merdeka film commercial that was screened in all TV channel. I film a story about a stateless who try to be merdeka from their life, like being a poor. So, and this story was like after the elections, the MC the ministry that they decide to screen this commercial for one whole year, because for some reason it's very close. And then like I saw the comment and a lot of people texting me about it, and then like from that I realized that actually people wanted to know about this story. It's just like we need to give them the space, and we need to give them opportunity to watch this kind of story in the mainstream. So like as a filmmaker also, like you have to take an action to stop telling story about like, you know, love story that don't really, like nobody can relate. It's all just imagination that you just want to put people to, like, you know, to have imagination about love, but that kind of thing really happen in their real life. But we should start telling a story that really happened in our life, so everyone can relate, then everyone can, like, you know, come together and then like try to help each other.
Thanks, Putri. What about Albert or Watan? Anything to add about that?
I think, yeah, I mean, I feel the same way as Putri. In mainstream media, I don't really see like any indigenous stories that, you know, talk about the issues. Yeah, it's very sad lah, because like when we like release the film online Facebook, like, yeah, it's a kind of like viral people like, yeah, commenting, sharing, and yeah, and looking forward to like watching the next story about, yeah, Tony and, yeah, the son. But yeah, I guess it's really important to have the platform and chances to filmmaker to do this kind of stories, and yeah, for the audience to yeah, for it to reach the audience lah.
So
That's
say
it.
for example, we're going to want to show Pengidup Aku in the Sarawak RTM. Don't you think it'll be a big hit?
Yeah, I'm sure, really sure.
Right, right. So there is kind of maybe a market for this kind of films also lah, I feel. We just need to be supported maybe, yeah, in a way, and for audience to give chance to watch this kind of films. Yeah, what about you, Watan?
Yeah, I'm also looking forward if is shown in the TV, but I just afraid the quality is not enough good lah for my film. Yeah, but I will great to let more people to watch, because this can add more sympathy for them, for the blind people.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Thanks very much for this round of sharing, Putri, Albert, and Watan. Actually, we've like before you know it, it's really been like 1 hour. But there are some questions. So before I go on with the discussion, maybe we should just take some questions first. Okay. So let's see what question we have. Okay. This question is quite interesting, and it is about your relationship with the subject, and I think it relates to three of y'all, as in how do you encourage your main character agree to be filmed, and so that they are not shy, they don't feel shame, how do you do that so that you gain their trust enough for them to be confident, for you to tell their story, and for them to say yes, because it's very difficult. I'm sure Tony, luckily, is your friend, Albert, but if not, then I'm sure he will not ever do it for anybody else. So I think same with Watan, I know, you really had a good relationship, and similarly to Putri, maybe you just share a bit about your process of how you managed to gain the trust and get their agreement to make the film.
I think gaining the trust is very important, especially when you deal with a documentary, because like you don't want to be seen like trying to take advantage of them. So first thing, like you just need to be honest with your story, with yourself. You have to be honest with the character, and then like try spend time with them, like not just like directly come and hey, I want to shoot you, I want to make a documentary about you, can I? And then just put your camera. Don't do that. Like you just
So what did you do? What did you do?
Scare people. So I just like spending time with the kids, try to get know with them, and then become their friends. Like I spend like a few weeks in there, going in and out, and then sometimes I spend like few days straight, and then I follow the kids to the home. I get to know their parents, and I get to know the teachers, the children there, being their friends, and I bring my team, and then I just ask them if I can film, and they are okay with that. And then I didn't like straightly bring my camera. I just slowly let them get used to the camera, even let them play with the camera, and then after one moment, like after a few days, they get used to it, and they don't really feel like they are filming with a camera, and that's how things happen. It's very fast. It just happened like we don't really like force anybody, and everyone was just being happy when they were filmed by the camera, and really building up a relationship with your character is very important. Like, you don't just simply go and shoot them without a proper asking, and you never know, like when you build up a relationship with the character, you will get more than you were trying to get. They will be more open to you, and the trust is there. They will give more to your story.
Adding to like what Putri has said, like for me, like I try not to disrupt the character from whatever he's been doing. So yeah, don't ask your character like do this, do that. Yeah, just keep your character. Then yeah, he feel safe lah with you, and yeah, he will let you like he will know like if you're holding the camera like for too long, then he will feel like, oh, I need to do something. Yeah.
Watan?
I agree what Putri and Albert say. It's very offensive if you suddenly take out the camera and shoot their daily life without their permission. But honestly, I didn't gain the permission in black and white or ask them to sign any agreement. I experienced something different to get their trust is from a funeral. The funeral that I show in my film is Ken's mother funeral. Yes, that's shoot by me, and actually that time I just entered the community about 2 months, and sometimes I don't know how to ask their permission to shooting. Can I shoot this or that? I still it's really make me difficult to continue the shooting. And at the time, Ken's mother is seriously ill, and the doctor also asked him to prepare to be mentally prepared lah. And Ken know I'm a photographer, and he asked whether can I help him to make a video record, or can I ask some other photographer to help him to record the completely of his mother funeral, because he want to see and keep the last sign of his mother clearly, so he can watch it clearly through the smartphone. So I find him a photographer, but the photographer didn't appear on his mother funeral. I still remember clearly how he blamed me anxiously, but I can understand that. So I rushed to his mother funeral and helped him to record the things completely. And since then, I can feel that I had gained their trust, and they will actively ask me if you want to shoot, was my camera on, because they are going to tell a joke or they are going to doing something special. So the transformation process between so-called the outsider and insider for me is a little bit luck, I guess.
In the sense then it's still like about building a relationship, right? And gaining trust, and it's over time, and also being honest and sincere lah, I guess, having a real relationship lah, with anybody else, and that's how it builds. So there is another question that's related Watan, which is how did your anthropology background influence the film that you make?
I think the anthropology study have a great impact for my documentary, because I also use the method of anthropology called the participation and observation to involve to the community. So I have to get know with the community before I starting to shoot them. And also in anthropology, the moral is very important. How to say the moral?
Ethics.
You have to
ethics principles.
Yeah, ethics. You have to protect your interviewee of the people that you shoot, and what they say you have to choose not to putting them at the risk.
Right. I think there's also quite something that maybe is important to all for social documentary filmmakers. How to deal with this question of ethics, what to put in, what not to put in, what is false, what is authentic. Are we just trying to make a beautiful story, or are we going to expose them too much? Did y'all have this? Maybe y'all can share some of your dilemmas, or ethics issues, or approaches when you make this documentary.
For my documentary, because it involves like Tony as a workers, and of course you have the boss. So my film, like I was thinking really hard, should I portray the boss as the bad character? And but at the end I didn't do that lah, because I feel like at the end of the day it doesn't help like Tony at all. And to be honest, like the boss is nice actually, even though it doesn't pay the workers that well. And yeah, even in like the boss, like appears in like few seconds in the film, like in parts where he gave away like some cartons of beer for the workers. And yeah, you need to think like how your film will affect your character like after it was released. Yeah, and for me, like, because I believe that it's not only this one particular boss that it's bad, because it's our society like accept construction worker should be paid to be, we pay them low lah, because they are doing I don't know, something like that. Sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, but I understand. It's like because after we finish the film, he is still living there, and he has to have a job. He has to deal with his boss. So if we make the boss like very bad, then he will be out of a job, right? In that sense, then yeah, I mean there is a risk factor for him. Did you actually talk to him about it? Like, what are some of the implications that this film might have on his life after that? Did you have this discussion with him?
Yes, I showed him the draft of the film, and I think the first reaction is he said that, oh, the boss won't like this. So I adjust the film a little bit to show that the boss nice person, interacting with the workers. I mean, which is true lah, kind of true.
In the sense that you actually went back to him, show it, and consult a bit lah. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What about you, Putri? What kind of any kind of experience in this aspect?
I think I'm having it now, like the dilemma as a documentary filmmaker. When I've been like meeting with a lot of my filmmaker friends, even Anna know this problem.
Can speak louder. I think your audio is a bit soft.
Hello. Okay. Can you hear me? So like I really don't know like how to continue documentary when you have to deal with the morality, because at one point you will stuck in between telling the story, or if you telling the story is gonna affect your character, so you don't know whether you should continue or not. If you continue, it's gonna affect your character life, but if you didn't continue, like nobody gonna know the story. Nobody gonna know the fact, like what they've been struggling. So I think in Aku Mau Sekolah, I didn't really face much on that issue, because like we already know which like entity that we want to pressure to actually help this community. And I don't really portray anyone, because I think most of the character in the film, like they have a direction they want to go. They just want to get education. Even the teacher just want to let this kid to like have a proper education and not being disturbed by the authority. But like now, because I'm working on my feature documentary, like I was struggling to continue the documentary when I see that my character might lead to the direction which is it's not good for them. But as filmmaker, I don't know whether I should continue or stop them from going to direction, or just continue the filming, because I've been questioning myself, like if I will face that moment, what will I do, and then what action should I do. Like I'm questioning myself. It's very important for me to tell that story, so people can know the struggle. I need to film it. It's very authentic, so by then people can feel that it's really happened, and people have to do something on it. But at the same time, like my inner self also said that if you let the kids just go to that direction, isn't that you are part of the problem, why they're having that life, like why you didn't stop when you were there. So all this morality issue has really been haunted me, like I've been meeting people like asking about this, and like nobody still give me a clear answer to it. I think, yeah, I think by time I might find a way how to tackle this issue lah. But it's also still a struggle for me as a filmmaker, documentary filmmaker, to deal with morality issue, especially when you get some story that like very important to tell, right? So you don't know how to continue that. Like, if anyone also know the way, maybe you guys also can share, because I would love to know.
Right. Anybody want to comment on Putri's dilemma? But it is true that documentary, one thing about that's interesting about it, that is a constant process. It's not like maybe you write a script, then you just execute it. It's like every day got new issues and the story develops, and that's kind of like the dynamism of documentary. I think that's or social films, that it actually is about a relationship, and it's about documenting things that you actually see, and also about your own thought processes and ethics of what to put in and what you want to achieve in the end, I think. Yeah, and it's true, it's not necessarily what you see is what you should put on screen, correct? It also has impact on the person. And I think the thing about social filmmaking for me is, in the end, we want to bring about a change in society that is good. We want to tell people that these people have this problem, understand the complexity of the problems, and also, I guess, not to make things worse and discriminate them more, and hopefully that understanding will help. So it is a fine balance between trying to tell people how complex and why the subject is doing this kind of issue, or going into this direction, is because they don't have a choice, or is because they were forced to. At the same time, exposing them that they are doing something that maybe is the society looks down on. You know what I'm saying? But I think in the end, for me, it is about what would help society understand them better, and at the same time not put too much risk on the subject lah. For me, that's what I feel lah. But of course, every single subject is really you have to personally decide at each stage what to do next. Any other comments on this? The two filmmakers, Watan or Albert?
The one thing I want to talk about is I think most of us still remember what the government did to the Bangladesh who was interviewed by the Al Jazeera documentary, Lock Up, Malaysia Lockdown. So for me, I can't agree what government do to deport him back to the country. And the other side, the producer and the director should also be very careful and being sensitive, I think. Yeah.
I think it's a two-way.
Yeah.
Effort. Like as a filmmaker, you are responsibility to the life of the subject matter. You can't really, just because it's something that very exclusive, or something that it's very like it's a very big thing that when people watch this, it can go viral. It's not only about that, but you have to realize that like you are playing with someone else's life. But when the documentary ends, like you said, the life will still continue. That you need to make sure that by making this documentary, it's not gonna adding problem to them, but it can help them even a little bit, like help to their life, but not adding more problems, because there's no point of you making the documentary. There's no point for them to agree on it if their lives become worse after that. So I think it's really a responsibility of the filmmaker and to protect their subject matter and make sure that they didn't bring any harm when you are working on their story.
Yeah, I think that's a very good reflection, and it's kind of like I think one of the most important component of making films about marginalized communities as well. Yeah, I think we're coming around to the end of our session. Thank you for all the questions that have come up. There have been other questions about funding, about authenticity, the differences between narrative films. That one, I think we kind of covered some of it. But maybe just to end, maybe just to ask the three of y'all, if there's there's some filmmaker outside there who wants to make this kind of films that you are making, what is your advice to them?
Okay, I think like you guys have to have a proper planning when you want to do your documentary. You need to be clear on what you want to tell, and and always be careful also when you are telling your story. At the same time, if like even if the story is very important or you being restricted, but there's always a creative way to tell a story. So you just have to try to play around with everything you have around to you, and then I mean, about the funding things, there's actually a lot of funding, especially on social issue, but you just need to know and do more research and plan. And especially when you want to deal with documentary, like I think it's not documentary. It's not just like you go there and take a interview and then done. Documentary is all about like giving the proof, like what the people say, like all the interview. You need to find a clear proof to support what they say. So it's not just gonna be words coming from their mouth, but it's also a matter of fact that as a documentary you need to do a lot of research, because documentary filmmaker it's just about research and getting close to your subject matter, and then like be alert on surrounding on everything, because like small detail can be a very important story, can be a very important things to add on your story. So have a good planning. Funding you can find anywhere. Actually, you just have to do your research. Like one of it, Freedom Film Fest, and a lot of festival they provide fund. And then like if your subject matter is children or something like that, you can reach certain big NGO like UNICEF and stuff like that lah. So there's a lot of way to find a funding, but you just have to be clear on your story and then do your research.
I guess for me the advice is just start small, look around you, and I'm sure there are a lot of like social issues that you can cover. For me, I don't look at like issues in Peninsular Malaysia or Sabah or other places. I just start from my own community.
Watan?
The advice is before you're targeting your interviewee, maybe you can try to know more other potential people from different race or different group, I think. Because for my film, my two character is working in a same massage center. I think it's caused some limitation for me. It is not a must, but I think it's good to receive more different perspective.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you very much, the three of y'all. I think the sharing you all give is really very personal, and maybe a lot of you can't get this in lectures on documentary or social films, maybe even in school or whatever. So these are really real life experiences from the filmmakers. I'm really thankful for your personal sharing. And also, just before we end, I want to thank you, KKIF, and the audience for listening in. And you should support festivals like FFF and KKIFF, and you can do so by registering and watching the films on KKIFF now if you haven't. Yeah. And for the Freedom Film Fest, we'll be back in December this year. Usually it's in September. But because of COVID, we are now postponing and pushing it to December. So please look out for our posters and announcements soon. We are on, you can reach us on our social media sites. It's usually Freedom Film Fest, one word. Freedom Film Fest. Yeah. Or you can, and our website is freedomfilm.my. A lot of information about us and our past films and our filmmakers are all online. So with that, I'd like to conclude this webinar. Thank you again, Putri, Albert, and Watan for your time and sharing. And so take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you too for having us.
Thank you,
Bye.
Anna.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.